Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you. So see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. So this listener says, I am sexually frustrated. I've been waiting for a good guy to come along to have sex, but I've been dating for a year now and I haven't found a guy I think is worth it. Do you think I'm being too picky, or do you think I'm right to wait until I know what I want? That's a good question.
If she's been dating him for a year,
I think she means dating in general. She's been dating.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, that no guy's going to stick around for you.
I'm like, next. Sorry, I misheard that. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think my views on that have changed, but yeah, I would probably say it's better to wait for worth it.
I think it depends how
old are they?
frustrated are you? If you're bumping into things and falling, you know what I mean, and you can't handle yourself, I'll probably go out there and just pick one. But I mean, if you can handle it. When I was single, it was terrible. Like, I was climbing up the walls. And I just...
well, for women, it's, I think, easier.
Yeah, well...
yeah.
I've got very low morals as well, so it's not... You know what I mean? But, yeah, I think it's not about being picky, right? I think it's what you considered a good guy, I think is probably, you know what I mean, is what you're looking for. Like, when I was looking for someone, I had all these ideas in my head because I'd been through like previously bad relationships, and I was like, I didn't want this and I don't want that and I don't want this. And like, when you have those tight restraints, like, it makes it harder to see. If you like let yourself go a little bit and you sort of pick the main things you're looking for, it's easier to see the good in people than try and
for sure
all of them.
Actually, the fact that they've
I
waited
think,
a year, there should be some clarity there. Like,
yeah, that's what I was literally just about to say. Yeah, I think a year to figure out what you want.
That will definitely clear your head. Yeah, because it gets cloudy when you're doing that. So if you take a break, then you definitely know more of what you're looking for, and he would be worth doing that with.
I think I'm the opposite.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm clearer once I've done it, and like when it's been a while, I'm just
You're like anyone, no,
like a bear, it's just like
distracted,
looking around. Yeah. Bad times. But it's different for guys and girls, right? Like, guys are animals. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Men are disgusting, and women have a lot more self-respect. But it's definitely better to wait. Like, I mean, there's so many times like I wish I'd waited.
I do genuinely think, especially after watching like Married at First Sight and stuff like that, I think the longer you get into your own head and get like your walls up and your standards heightened, the longer you do that, the worse you're going to be about anything. So I think you need to be easy about it and don't take it too seriously. Like, it's sex. Everyone has it. Everyone does it. It's not going to be the end of the world if you regret it afterwards. Then you regret it, and that's that situation done, and you move on to the next person.
Well, you were a little bit.
Sleep around, have sex with someone, and decide you don't want to be with them forever. That's natural.
I think nowadays, definitely as well, it's more open. Like, it was a little bit more frowned upon, say, like 10 years ago, where people were like, but nowadays you can't do free love anymore, is it?
I don't think it's a big deal. I think you can make it into a big deal, but I don't think it's a big deal. I
actually think that that's a difference between men and women. Like, I think that men can not be as attached from doing that. Like you said, it's just sex. But I think that women have a harder time of not becoming emotionally attached. So I personally think that if she's waited a year, that why not try to actually like find somebody that you want to have a relationship with?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, when men don't care at all. Like, but I definitely think it's better to wait. I think emotionally and stuff, it's much better to wait than to just to give in and then either feel like not dirty, but like
used.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like if you've waited this long, then what's the? I mean, unless someone like Dynamite comes along, and you're like, woo.
Yeah. If you're like, I'd be cool with that for one night.
Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, right then. Like if Brad Pitt walked out or something like that, you'd be like, yeah, right then. Why not? Give it a go. Take a picture and put it in the wallet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Why the hell not? But yeah, we got a little bit more time, so let's talk about your podcast for like the last sort of little bit. So what gave you the idea to come up with your podcast, the way you do it?
Yeah, thank you so much. I have always been close with my dad. I feel like he's kind of always been my biggest cheerleader and number one fan. I got my start in radio in college, like reading the news and the weather, and loved that medium. I wanted to work in entertainment since I was kind of a little kid. I went to a youth performing arts school and used to sing, but I didn't really like being in front of an audience. I more liked behind the scenes of things.
Yeah.
So I felt like the radio kind of was a place where I could be creative and edit and add music and sing in my own booth and be a creator. And so, yeah, I started in radio and then worked in reality TV for a bit. My first job was the Jerry Springer Show.
Oh, no way. Love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You guys are probably heard of it. You're probably around my age.
Yeah. Love Jerry.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
sad. Well, it's not sad what he was doing. Dirty old man. But yeah, happens to that.
Yeah, I think that my love of storytelling even kind of really began there. I was like, wow, these are some wild and crazy stories. And people were just dialing in daily with them. And that just sparked something in me. I was like, this is crazy. And so the beginning of my podcast was like, wow, I could book similar type of stories, and instead of Jerry Springer doing the final thought, my dad could. Like, I know he's not going to back out on me. He's he's a ham. He always was like to be in front of the camera, and he's always loved the entertainment industry. And I've shared so much about my entrepreneurial journey with him, and working in the entertainment industry with him. So, yeah, that's where it kind of spawned.
Oh, that's really cool. What did your dad think about it?
Oh, it's been such an amazing project. Like, looking back over these last 4 years, I'm like, how many people do a project with their dad in their 40s? And in the beginning, I feel like he wasn't as free with his answers or his opinions or even suggesting guests to me. But now he like looks forward to it. And like everywhere he goes, he's like, oh, an old school marketer, like a walking representative. He's like, I have a podcast. He's like so proud of his project with me and, who we've talked to and what he's learned. I think it's been like really good for him, even just to have something positive or intellectual to do. Like he's reading more books now, and he's doing more research now, and he's thinking about all these ideas that I'm presenting him with all of these people that we're talking to. And so that's been really cool.
Oh yeah, no, that's really cool. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do it.
Instance to tell him what a podcast was.
It took him, I would say, probably even 50 episodes before he got a mic. Like he was just using those earbud things, and
yeah,
it's been a journey. It's been a process, but
because that's one thing I've found is in the last year, podcasts, everyone's got a podcast now, but before that, when I would say, oh, I have a podcast, it would take a 10-minute conversation to try and explain what you're actually doing.
It's definitely, I feel like, kind of found a structure, right? Like I even formulate the intro and the outro together. So I do the interview, cut that down, send the cut down version to my dad. He listens separately. Then we hop on, we discuss the episode together. And then from our discussion, we formulate the intro. That wasn't like that in the beginning. In the beginning, I'm like, should I have my dad on? Should he be live? Should I intro the guest at the beginning? Does it need to be 30 minutes? Should it be 15 minutes? Should it be an hour? But, as you go, you kind of feel a flow or feel where it should end or feel if you should go deeper or feel if it should be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, right? So a lot of it, even like television, when you're working on a pilot of a show, you don't know what the format's going to be. And then by season 3, you're like, okay, this is what works. This is the structure.
Yeah, our first few episodes are very different to what the show is now. Very, very different. Even then, like,
very different.
I think the first 4 episodes are just me and Jamie just talking rubbish, and then we were actually doing an hour and a half episode on one email. I don't even know how we do that, because now we do about 15 minutes each. But I don't even know. It seems like a
we tend to do about 8 emails now an episode. Doing an hour and a half on one email, which was not the actual premise of our show at all either. At the beginning, we were just going to be 2 guys talking about like the random stuff, like every other podcast talking about random stuff in the news that week or whatever. But then we got one email come in a few times since, snowballed into what it's become now.
But where can the listeners find you? And did you want to tell them about your upcoming event that you've got going on, in case anyone's in the area?
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah. So Monday, I don't know when this is going to release, but Monday
it'll be on
at
next week.
The Bohème Bar, which is the first bar that I grabbed a frozen mojito at when we moved to Texas, and they're actually throwing in a round of frozen mojitos for, the first drinks that people get.
Awesome.
And then Riverside is picking up the second round, and I think they're going to do margaritas because it's kind of around Cinco de Mayo. So I was thinking margaritas, mojitos, and good mojo. I love both, but yeah, frozen mojito, and they're strong. I'm sorry, but if you make strong, good flavored cocktails, that's all you need for a good party.
Definitely. So you're on Spotify and all that sort of normal stuff, Apple, all that?
Yes, and I do put select episodes of my podcast on YouTube, so there's video extras there. Like, I just went to a meetup recently in town. When you move to a new place, I feel like you're like, who are my friends? Who am I? Where am I going to live? And so me and my husband have been going to more of these like entrepreneur meetups, podcaster meetups, creative meetups and stuff. That's why I decided, hey, let me do one of these. We've been here 2 years. I've met enough people where I could probably throw one myself. I got 35 people to sign up. I'm like, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
That's intimate, where you can actually like talk to people and like get to know people better, especially over drinks. So yeah, we went to a meetup this morning, and I had met this guy recently, and he shared that his brother had a good daddy story. He said that his brother started a nonprofit because his kid had a rare form of muscular dystrophy. Like, his kid has a form of muscular dystrophy that there's only been one other reported case, or I don't know, even the proper medical technology, but of the same deletion that his kid has in the entire world. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And so his dad quit his job, sold his car, went to a conference where there was like the biggest people in the muscular dystrophy industry, and got these people on the board of his nonprofit. And he's like going all in on trying to save his kid. His story was so inspiring. And I got to shoot that live in a studio in Houston. And now I'm like, I want to do maybe one every 6 weeks or one every month of actually speaking to people in the community and doing a live interview. It was so invigorating. I loved that.
Well, that's great. Hopefully the listeners enjoyed you, and we'd love to get you back for we'll plan it better and we'll get a full episode. So
yeah, that'd be amazing. Maybe I can bring my daddy.
Oh yeah, why not? More the merrier. We'd love to.
Yeah. Why not?
But Jamie will do a quick outro. But once we stop recording, if you could stay on for 2 seconds, because it has to upload. And then
yeah, for sure. And I just want to say thank you so much for even the beginning of this interview. You guys gave me hope. You have no idea. And this is even why I do my podcast too. Helping people feel seen and heard when they're having a hard time, and helping them not feel like they're crazy is the biggest gift that you can give someone, because everybody's story matters and everybody's problems matter. And if we can do that for someone, I think that changes the world.
Absolutely. That's what we feel.
Thanks for coming along, Reena. It was good having you on. We're going to finish up this part of the show, and me and Dan are going to carry on doing some more questions after this. So thank
you, Jamie and Dan, for having me. You can find me at bettercalldaddy.com or Reena Friedman Watts on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Awesome. Thanks very much. See you later.
Mm-hmm.